Did you know that Fortune magazine has performed a review, a research on strategies among a great number of business leaders all across the world? And this study led to the conclusion that 90% of the company do not feel able to implement their strategy. And the real reason why business leaders are not able to implement their strategy is not because they cannot produce a good strategy. It's not a poor strategy. The real challenge is about translating strategy into action. Hello. It is my great pleasure to welcome you today in order to share some ideas about one more very important principle of the excellence of management of your vocational school. Let's talk about strategies. It is important to recognize that strategy is often used in a very mysterious way. The strategic planning document of a company, of a school, is most of the time a very confidential document, isn't it? Well, in the end, the real challenge of strategy is exactly to communicate the strategy, to give visibility and transparency on the strategy. If nobody knows your strategy, how are we going to achieve our vision for the future? So today we want to share some good tools for you to be able to plan your strategy, to follow on your strategy, and to communicate your strategy so that you can effectively achieve your vision of the future. But as we said, strategy is often a very mysterious word, right? So let's get started by defining what is a strategy. Well, a strategy is a choice. It's a choice that we have to make together in order to achieve a vision for the future. So strategy is about constructing the future that we desire together. In order to do so, we have some tools that we can use inside of our vocational school in order to define our strategy, to be able to follow on the strategy, and of course to communicate and grow with the strategy. Let's talk first about strategy definition. In order to define our strategy, we need data, we need information. We need to understand what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses of our vocational school, and we need to understand the world we're living in. Therefore, we need to collect and process good data on the situation of the market, jobs, policies, so that we understand how we can provide a good contribution for society. Once we understand the world we're living in, we need to define our strategy. And defining a strategy is much more than a bunch of sentences. It is the ability of having clear goals, key performance indicator, and therefore follow the implementation on your vision based on facts and data. Once we have a vision for the future, once we have a good way to follow on the vision with facts, data, and goals, it is very important to go to action. The challenge of the strategy is to go to action. So we need to define a bunch of strategic projects where we are going to allocate resources in order to be sure that this vision for the future will effectively happen. And then finally, strategy is about having a common vision. So it's about communication. It is very important to communicate the strategy to all the colleagues inside of the vocational school, to society, to all stakeholders, so that the strategy can effectively happen. So let's sum up. Strategy is not something mysterious that has to be hidden from the people. Strategy has to be communicated and has to be a common vision for the future of our vocational school. But we need to be able to follow on the strategy with facts, data, and concrete projects. Now I would like to propose you a very small challenge. I would like you to think about 2 major strategic targets that you need to achieve in order to fulfill the vision of the future of your vocational school. What are the 2 important strategic goals for the future of your school? Thank you so much for your time, and see you very soon.